Hey, turn me up just a little bit. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Can I talk to you? Yeah. Can I share with you? Yeah. Something personal. Yeah. Where I've been, what I've done, who I am.
Yeah. We got Anthony Lofties from Tennessee. Hi, Anthony. Woo!
What's going on, everyone? What is going on? I know this is a pop-up live, so I'm gonna try to get through this as quickly as possible because there's a lot to talk about in this live. All right. Now, I hope everyone is having a good day, a good Friday. I hope everyone's week has been good, and I hope everyone enjoys the weekend. So let me go ahead and bring this up. Where is it at? Where is it at? Okay, here it go. All right. So, as y'all know, I have been traveling. Baby, Puerto Rico was good. New Orleans was even better. Oh, let me tell y'all something. Child, first of all, everything on this channel, everything on this video is alleged. It's for entertainment purposes only, and everything is in my opinion. Make sure y'all follow me on social media. And also, if you want to become a member, go ahead and purchase your membership right now. I get bullied too, and I'm telling you, it's available on Amazon Prime and Amazon. So also, my album is available on all digital platforms, so make sure you go ahead and stream that. Also, if you're looking for a smile makeover, hit up Dr. Roger Cooper. Use promotion code AL23 and you will get 30% off. Now, I know Huntsville, Love Marriage Huntsville is back. Y'all, I just watched the last episode. I can't wait to talk to Trish. Great episode. I felt like we learned a whole lot about Trish, but I'm not really here to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville episode. We'll get into that a different day. But there is something that happened on that previous episode. I don't think people really paid attention to. Anyway, congratulations again, Ariane. Just gonna leave it like that. Now, we got 48 people watching. Thank you all for tuning in. I see y'all in the comments. Thank you. Hey, Auntie Mildred. Hey, Auntie. Now, okay, so let's go ahead and bring this up now. Who owns Love and Marriage Huntsville? Now, everybody know the fuss has always been about, oh, she created the show. She did such and such. She owns the show. Blank, 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 blank. Carlos King say, I'm the creator of the show. It's always been a hoopla, a uproar about who is the owner, who created the show, who met with such and such. But we finna give all that out today. Now, so, but back to New Orleans, y'all. New Orleans was so fun. Baby, if I lived in New Orleans, I could not live there. If I lived in New Orleans, I would be just as big as. Let me show y'all. Where that picture at? If I lived in New Orleans, is that picture still right here? You know I got a reference, right? Baby, if I lived in New Orleans, my body would be like this. My body would be like that. I take that back. Child, if I lived in New Orleans, my body would be just as big as church van. I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot live in New Orleans because the food is too good. The food is amazing. If you haven't been to New Orleans, y'all go ahead and go. Try that hand grenade drink. Oh my gosh, y'all. Let me tell you something. By the end of the night, your head will be in the toilet. If I was in New Orleans, I would be this big. Child, my hair already gone, so I'm already halfway there, okay? Just saying, all right? If I was in New Orleans, I'd be running out of breath like this.
Wade in the water, children, wade.
The before, during, and after of Weight Watchers.
All right, Auntie Mildred, yes, the food is amazing. And also, when I was down there, the beignet festival was going on. Y'all, it was so much food in that park. I know I spent probably about $200 just off of food. Okay? I'm not messing with you tonight. That's all. Just saying. Now, You all see the thumbnail about who owns Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you see, I got four things on there. I have Own Network, I have ITV, I have Carlos King, and Buddy up there, okay? Now, my friend called me today. He was like, Anthony, he's like, do you know what I just learned about Love and Marriage Huntsville? I'm like, what's up? We was talking about the business, the production part, all that stuff, whatever. And he was talking about like Carlos King in a good way, all right? This gonna be a lot of information to take in, so go ahead and just listen. Carlos King is one smart ass motherfucker, all right? Just saying. When I was reading through that, I said, oh my gosh. Um, I said, wow. So let's go ahead and start this off. Carlos King is the creator. I'm reading y'all what I got, okay? Carlos King is the creator. He created Love and Marriage Huntsville and the entire Love and Marriage franchise. But when it comes to being an owner, it's complicated. Carlos King does not fully own the show the way people think. Here's why. Carlos King does own, he owns the concept, the format, the idea, and creative structure. So we can go ahead and dead that out, saying that who created the show. On paper, Carlos King created the infrastructure of Love and Marriage Huntsville, the Love and Marriage franchise. All right. Now he owns the concept, concept format, the idea, the creative structure. His company, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, is the producer of the show. He owns the production rights and creative control portion. What he does not own outright, Carlos King does not have 100% ownership of Love and Marriage series because ITV America, as you pay attention, ITV America is actually on my thumbnail. And if you all don't remember, I said something a long time ago about ITV. I think the main cast get a contract with the network, and I think the friends of the show probably get a contract with ITV. I think there was something, if I'm not mistaken, I remember Kiki said something about ITV wasn't open when they came back from the Houston trip. If you all remember that, put a one in there, okay? Anyway, so ITV America is a corporate partner and co-producer. On Oprah Winfrey Network has the broadcast rights and controls how the show airs. When a creator sells a show to a major network, the network and production partners usually get a big share of the ownership. Ownership. So every time my pastor sings "Waiting on the Water," I crack up. Hey, talking with Shauna. How you doing, love? So, who technically owns the show? The show is essentially owned jointly by Kingdom Reign Entertainment, Carlos King, ITV America, and Own Network. Those are the three people that own Love and Marriage, the franchise. All right. Now, Own controls the airing and distribution deals. ITV controls the corporate production rights. Carlos controls the format and the creative aspect. All right. So let's kind of break this down. Ownership breakdown of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's break all of that down, okay? So Carlos King. Carlos King / Kingdom Reign Entertainment. And if you notice, I'm saying Carlos King as one person and Kingdom Reign Entertainment. And as we get along further with this, you'll understand where I'm coming from. That's why I say Carlos King, he's smart. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Carlos King actually owned his name. Martell, I think he owned his name as well. No, Carlos doesn't own Martell now. I'm saying Martell, I think he owned his own name. Anyway, so Carlos King, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, the format ownership. What that cover is the idea, the structure, the creative format, the franchise concept. This is the part Carlos King truly owns. It means nobody can make a love and marriage show without him unless he licenses it. So the episodes, library, ownership, the master files. So ITV America is the owner of that. ITV America is the corporate production parent, own / co-production agreements. So that means they own the actual footage, the edited episodes, the master files, international distribution of the show. These are typically owned by the production studios, not the creator. So when you all watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, you watch all of these different shows, even though Carlos and Kingdom Reign, they film all of the footage, they are not the ones that does the edits. Edits goes directly to ITV America. They basically they put together the storyline, all of that little stuff or whatever. They do not make the decision of who get edit, who get this part or whatever. They don't make that decision. It goes directly to ITV America and OWN Network. They basically have the say so and the control of, okay, we see the footage, we don't like this, give us something else. It won't be approved until y'all give us more. So I hope y'all following along how everybody want to say Carlos know everything. Actually, he don't. Because the people that's making all of the decisions is actually ITV and on network. So we're gonna move forward because it's gonna get a little good when everybody figure out y'all been doing all this stuff and you're being messing with the wrong person. All right. So we got that out the way. Now, three, who owns the network rights, broadcast, and streaming? OWN Network is the owner of that part. So they own the rights to air the show, the rights to stream it, the rights to promote it. They own the right to US distribution window. Most of the platforms related revenue. So let's talk about profit and back end ownership. So splits between Carlos King, Kingdom Reign, ITV America, OWN. Carlos King gets executive producer fees, a share of production profit, a licensing fee, possible back end if the show sells internationally. All right. He does not have total ownership. He has creative ownership and partial business ownership. Now, let's talk about a breakdown about percentages, okay? Industry standard reality TV contracts, network producers deals, how ITV America partnership works, how format ownership works in unscripted television, all right? Percentage. Carlos King's likely own, all right? Carlos King owns its format, and usually the format owners hold at least 10% to 30% ownership of the total franchise value. In similar own/TV style productions, Carlos King likely owns 10% to 25% of the franchise rights. This includes format ownership, back-end participation, licensing revenue, and franchise expansions. He does not own the broadcast library, the actual episode, all right? That is owned by ITV America. So, and co-production with OWN Network. Because Kingdom Reign was placed under the ITV America umbrella, ITV provides crew, production, infrastructure, editors, insurance, studio level financing, all right? ITV likely owns 30% to 50% of the show library. They usually control episodes master, international sales, long-term distribution, and studio rights. Now, the percentage of OWN Network is likely when OWN commissions a show, they usually get US broadcast rights, OWN platform streaming rights, a cut of distribution revenue, footage usage rights. OWN does not own the format, but they own a big piece of the distribution rights. So we already talked about the format. Carlos King owns the format. OWN likely controls 30 to 40% of rights tied to broadcast streaming and distribution. All right. OWN pays the money for the show to exist each season, so they get a large share. I hope y'all following along, okay? So let's talk about the entity, okay? Carlos King/Kingdom Reign, 10 to 25%. ITV America, 30 to 50%. OWN Network is 30 to 40%. All right, we talked about all of that. Now, let's talk about why Carlos King is the owner in some ways, but not others. Like I said, Carlos King, he does own the concept, the format, the franchise name, spin-off rights, producing rights. So you hear what I just said. Carlos King owns spin-off rights and producing rights. Now, how everybody, all these people was going up trying to boycott or y'all need to send emails and do this stuff to OWN Network, they couldn't do a spinoff with a person without Carlos's approval. I think that's what make this shit so funny. I'm like, oh shoot, they don't even know what they did. Y'all sitting up here writing these letters, doing these emails, or whatever you're talking about doing in somebody else's name, and don't even realize that in order for there to be a spinoff, Carlos has to approve a spinoff. They can't just do a spinoff without Carlos say so. That's funny. Anyway, but we look like we may not see that spinoff happening. Now, move right along. He does not own the aired episodes. Carlos does not own distribution rights. He does not own full profits. He does not own broadcast control. Now, child, I'm tired of reading already. Now, where else? Let's talk about how much Carlos King likely earns per season. Who makes more money? Carlos King on TV or ITV? Whether Carlos can legally take the show off on, whether Carlos owns the cast footage. Okay, that's why I said, baby, Carlos about his business. Because when I got all this stuff, I said, oh wow, this is very interesting. Okay, and we're gonna talk about when people leave the show, what they can and what they can't do. All right, I'm not gonna put too much information out there. Just giving y'all a little stuff while I'm reading. Okay. How much Carlos King likely earns per season? Likely earns. I hope y'all likely. So Carlos King earns money from four different streams. Okay, not one, not two, not three, but four. Executive producer (EP) fee on own ITV level shows, and EP usually earns up to between $20,000 to $60,000 per episode. All right. Love and Marriage Huntsville typically has 14 to 22 episodes per season, if you really watch the show. Estimated EP income could be 300,000 going up to basically 1.3 million per season. Okay? Producers profit participation back end. This is a percentage of profit after production costs for a show like this. 5% to 20% of net profit. Because the show is successful, this could add 100,000 to 300,000 per season. Format licensing. That's the third one, right? Carlos owns the format of the franchise, Love and Marriage. OWN and ITV must license the format from Carlos. That's 50 to 200,000 per season. Let's go to number 4. That's D. Franchise and spinoff royalties. He gets paid anytime they make Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage DC, any future cities that he wants to go, that he wants to do. All of that is coming to play with him. He gets it. 50 to 250,000 per spinoff. And you have to be very careful, like doing stuff to cut people off or make them mad, because not trying to say that he would do something like this. You can't, you can't try to go get your own show or go against the people that's over you and trying to get the network or any other company to do a show, and he can sit up here and say, you know what, I know my show is one of the biggest shows on this network. So if y'all want me to continue to provide this type of show, that don't need to be up there. Almost how they said that Candy say she wasn't gonna be on the show if Phaedra was on there. You get what I'm saying? So total estimate earnings for Carlos per season is from $500,000 to $2 million per season, depending on ratings and number of episodes. And this does not include speaking engagements, YouTube revenue, podcast deals, or side businesses. Oh yeah, he's sitting good. Hey Prosperity, hey love. Who makes more money, Carlos King, OWN Network, or ITV? I'm breaking everything down right now, y'all. Okay, so OWN controls advertising and revenue, sponsorship, network ratings, streaming bonuses, platform viewership. OWN also pays the production costs, but they earn far more from national advertising. OWN easily makes from at least 5 million to 15 million per episode, per season. Hey, Auntie Michelle. Hey, Dr. Brian. 5 million to 15 million per season, depending on ratings. Okay, let's go to number 2. ITV America Production Studio. ITV gets a production fee, studio profit, distribution money, international sales. ITV earns from estimated 2 million to $6 million per season. Okay? Three, Carlos King, format, EP, and back end. He earns the least compared to the corporation because he is the creator, but not the network and not the studio. He can earn between 500K to $2 million per season. Still very good. That's still really good to be a creator. All right. So let's talk about can Carlos King legally take the show off of OWN Network? No, he cannot. OWN owns the broadcast rights. Once a network buys a show, they own the rights to air it as long as they renew the contract. OWN controls the air schedule. Carlos cannot move. Carlos cannot move the show to Netflix. He can't move the show to VH1. He can't move the show to Bravo. Take it away from OWN unless OWN decides to cancel it or all parties renegotiate and release the rights, but it's very rare that that's going to happen in reality television. Okay, Carlos can create a new show on another network. That's what he can do. Beloved Marriage is tied to OWN legally. You said, I'm glad you are going over this. TMI, my son is in the business of reality TV, and I cringe when people get this stuff wrong. It's something. It's really something. So, does Carlos King own the cast footage? No. He does not own it. Carlos owns the format, not the footage. Who owns the footage? The people that own all of the footage, the behind the scenes, everything is ITV America and OWN Network. Those are the only two that owns the footage. They own the raw footage. They own the edited episodes, all filmed material, all seasons, all spin-off footage. They own it. Carlos cannot remove cast scenes. He cannot release unaired footage, delete scenes, post footage on his own page. I want to say he can post footage on his page, like the trailer or something like that, but I think it has to be released first, and they have to get him approval for that. Send footage to cast members. All of that belongs to ITV plus OWN Network. Now, let's go to something else. How much each cast member earns, who get paid the most on the cast, how contracts work for reality stars, why producers have more power than cast. Now, hey, LT. So, this is based on OWN Network pay structure, unscripted TV, ITV America standards contracts, what similar cast members on Bravo, OWN, and WeTV earn, okay? Long-running ensembles reality shows. Just to clear that up with the estimate, okay? These numbers line up with industry standards for a long-running OWN ensemble reality show. The cast is probably paid per episode, not a flat salary. So, top tier cast, original plus heavy storylines. This includes Fix the Flat, Martell, Marceau, Letitia, Maurice, and Kimmy. Estimated pay is from $15,000 to $25,000 per episode. Now, normally when you get on your first season, you're not really making that much money. All right. You lucky if you even get $30,000 with your first episode, with your first season. But if it continues to bring in a lot of money, the ratings, the views, and it just become a hit, then you can actually end up getting a higher amount. Now, with 16 to 22 episodes per season totals to 250,000 to 550,000 each. Fix It Flat and Martell were the original breakout stars. So everybody always talk about how someone has more money or whatever. Oh, they such. From what I'm looking at, it shows a $50,000 difference, y'all. It shows that it's looking like Martell makes maybe 50,000 less than Fix It Flat. That's what I'm looking at. All right. Second tier, long time, but not originals. It says example. Let's use Tiffany Whitlow and Lewis Whitlow as an example for second tier, long time, but not originals. All right. Estimated pay can be between 5,000 to 12,000 per episode. Okay. However, sometimes friends of the show, they really don't try to pay like a lot of people maybe $1,500 an episode. Cause hell, I knew somebody that was on Love and Hip Hop and they was only making $600 per episode. All right. That season can total to be 90,000 to 200,000 depending on what they negotiate. All right. New cast member and friends of the show estimated pay $1,500 to $4,000 per season. And I just said that. Hey, Auntie, why did you send it on here? Thank you for the lesson today. Bless the channel. Thank you so much, girl. You should have sent it to my cash app. You know YouTube take about 30%. But I appreciate it. Love you. Okay. 1,500 to 4,000 per episode. Now, season total to be $20,000 to $70,000 for basically a new cast member or friend of the show. Reoccurring guests, paid per day of filming. That can be between $500 to $1,500 per day. Some guests get $0 if they appear voluntarily to promote their own businesses. That's why you have to be very careful about what you agree to and don't be so happy just to be on television, all right? Know exactly what you can ask for. Who get paid the most on the cast? Fix the flat. I think we all knew that, okay? Um, why? The day one central figure, a storyline generator, a fan favorite, a top tier negotiator, the face of the franchise early on. Keyword early on, okay? Now, she's likely has the highest salary on the show. Then next it says Martell Holt because of his storyline impact, conflicts, rating draws, long-term role. Martell earns closely to Fix the Flat, but slightly less. And I told y'all it was about a $50,000 difference. Now it says 3 to 5. The Scots. Marcel, Letitia, Maurice, and Kimmy. The Scots are extremely important for drama season, multi-family storyline thread. They are likely the next highest earners. Number 3. How contracts work for reality TV stars on OWN. Reality contracts are very strict. Here's what they usually include. OWN and ITV owns your image on the show. All right, owns your image on the show. What you telling T? I really be trying to be on your side, but you are so wrong, and I will leave it right there. Then get the fuck on from over here, bitch. I'm sorry, but girl, take your ass on the fuck on. They keep me doing this shit. Like, I already try to be on your bye. Don't come. Be gone. You know what? Anyway. So, OWN and ITV owns your image on the show. Cast sign away their footage rights, their sound bites, on-camera likeness, episode usage forever. This is why cast can't demand footage to be deleted. B. Cast cannot quit mid-season. Once you sign, you must film when called. Attend confessionals, attend group scenes, attend trips, reunions, and events. Refusing can get you fined, removed, sued, if extreme. Now, you heard what I just said. Now, I don't want to hear this stuff about, oh, Stormy, she quit, such and such. What makes Stormy so smart? Stormy didn't sign a contract. That shows you she didn't have a contract. She didn't sign one. Now that's smart. She did not sign a contract. She best, baby, I don't need the money. That's how you know a person don't need the money because that's last season this Storm she didn't sign no contract. She showed up when she wanted to show up. I might show up, I might not. Not really feeling it. I got more important things to be doing. I was self-made before I got on this show. I'm good. Like everybody thinks, she did not sign a contract, baby. They was calling, asking her to show up. You please show. Now that's how you win. Bloop. Anyway, let's talk about cast cannot sue the network or producers for storylines. Okay. Contracts include a clause allowing editing, story changes, negative portrayal, dramatic emphasis. Cass waives the right to sue for emotional distress, embarrassment, reputation damages. Now, while everybody trying to sit up here and say, "Oh, they need to sue such and such," you can't. You can't. Not. That's in the country. That's in the contract. That's in the agreement. You can't do it. Cast must allow production access to personal life. This includes home, family, relationships, drama, finances, personal business. If you refuse access, they can lower your episodes count. They can lower your episode count or not renew you. Cast cannot take sponsorship without approval. Carlos, if you watching this, baby, I know one of your cast members who definitely took a sponsorship while they was trying to get people to sign NDAs. Just saying. But hey, you don't got to worry about that individual no more. So, but I'm just saying though, if you ever need something, I can tell you who to talk to. Baby, they tried to get somebody to sign an NDA and they weren't going for it. Just saying. So, Cast cannot take sponsorship without approval. OWN controls conflict of interest deals. You cannot do competing ads, unauthorized brands, paid appearances during filming. Everything must be approved by production. Thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate that for the cash out. Thank you. Let me put it up here. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna put my cash up there. All right. Why producers have more power than cast? Producers own the footage, cast does not. If producers film it, they can air it, they can edit it how they want. They decide tone, storyline, and sequence. Cast has zero control once the cameras roll. Producers can manipulate the storyline through editing, sequencing, confessionals, music choice, selective footage. Producers can change who is a star. Did you hear that? Producers can change who is a star by giving more screen time, more confessionals, bigger storylines, or giving less visibility, bad edits, reduced scenes. This affects a cast member's pay and their popularity. Producers can fire or replace cast. OWN and ITV decides who appears next season. Carlos does not control that. If they don't renew you, you're gone. No appeal, no negotiations. Once again, Carlos King does not choose who can be on the show. It's up to OWN Network and ITV. Final. Producers get money from all episodes. Cast get money only if they appear. So just because you see somebody make $500,000, y'all remember we watched some episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're like, okay, Martell was in this episode. Okay, such and such was in this episode. I think last episode, Kimmy and Maurice wasn't in there. I don't think the Scots was in there, but they don't get paid for the episode. Producers get paid regardless. Somebody said producers and showrunners are in charge. What you said, them folks was messing with Carlos for no reason. That's what it is. They was messing with Carlos for no reason at all. If we gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. So, if you want, let me see what else. Does Fix a Flat still get paid from the show? Fix a Flat can still get paid from Love and Marriage Huntsville, even if Fix a Flat is no longer filming, but only in certain situations, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. Does Fix a Flat get paid per episode if Fix a Flat is not on the show? The answer is no. Reality stars are only paid per episode they appear in. If Fix a Flat not filming and not appearing in any episode, Fix a Flat does not get paid a cash salary. Fix a Flat does not get paid per episode. All right. So how can Fix a Flat still make money from the show? All right. Fix a Flat can still earn money from three income streams, okay? Even if Fix a Flat isn't on camera. It's called residuals, royalties from a repeat airing. Most shows does not give reality stars or personalities residuals and royalties. They really don't. It's like that show Cadillac Records, the movie Cadillac Records. You remember when he was right there? He said, "I'm gonna make you rich. I'm gonna make you famous." Look at it in that type of way. Okay, basically you get on this show. I'm making you. You're about to get more money than what you normally get in. So it's up to you to decide on how you want to save your money and do what you want to do with it. Make the show work for you. But I'm not gonna sit up here and give you this money and then turn around and keep paying you for you to just sit your ass at the house. If that makes sense, okay? Now, if you sign a contract that includes residual payments for reruns, Fix the Flat could still get checks from Hulu, Discovery, on reruns, streaming rights, international licensing. Most reality stars do not get residuals, all right? But Fix the Flat was an original anchor cast member and a top tier personality. So Fix the Flat may have been one of the few who negotiated royalties. All right. If Fix the Flat did, Fix the Flat still get a check. If Fix the Flat didn't, Fix the Flat won't. That simple. All right. Let's talk about income from seasons that Fix the Flat already filmed. Old seasons that Fix the Flat appeared in can still generate talent residuals if negotiated, background use fee, promotional usage. So Fix the Flat could get small checks based on how often past episodes air. Okay, show related exposure. Even though Fix the Flat may not be on the show anymore, the show still boosts. Fix the Flat music streams, Fix the Flat book sales, brand visibility, speaking fees, or social media monetization. It can still help in those ways. Does Fix the Flat get producers money from the show? No. Fix the Flat is not a producer or owner of the franchise. So Fix the Flat does not get production profit, Carlos King money, or network money. Does OWN still have the right to use Fix the Flat old footage? Yes. OWN and ITV America own all the old footage permanently. Fix the Flat cannot stop them from showing it, using it in flashbacks, or putting it on in promos. And Fix the Flat doesn't get paid extra for this unless Fix the Flat negotiated royalties. Most cast members don't get paid for old footage being reused. Does Fix the Flat own legally? Does Fix the Flat legally own any part of the franchise? No. Fix the Flat does not own any part of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Fix the Flat does not own the franchise, the trademark, the show format, the footage, the name of Love and Marriage, any parts of the intellectual property. Who owns it? Carlos King, format, creative right. ITV America, studio rights and footage. Own network, broadcast and distribution rights. Fix the Flat is talent, not ownership. Even a lead star does not get ownership unless they created the show. Fix the Flat did not. So, can OWN or Carlos King bring Fix the Flat back without her permission? Yes and no. Depends on the situation. They cannot force Fix the Flat to film again. Fix the Flat must sign a new contract for any new season. They cannot make Fix the Flat film, force her on camera, force her to appear at reunions, use brand name footage without consent. LaPrice, you said who created the show? Carlos King created the show. They can use all of her old footage without her permission. This includes flashbacks, story recaps, episode clips, voiceovers, promo material, past seasons. Why? Because Fix the Flat signed away her footage rights in her original contract. This is standard in unscripted television. OWN and ITV own their footage forever. Can Fix the Flat sue if they use her name or old footage? No, she cannot sue. When Fix the Flat signed the contract, they agreed to allow them to use the name, image, and likeness. They are allowed to say their name, show her, references her, recap her storylines, etc. And they can still allow her to edit, like they can edit her however they want. Contracts include no defamation claims, no emotional distress claims, and no editorial control. I would say, when can Fix the Flat sue them? I'm not gonna put that out there, since people like that. Since I like to help the bird, so I'm not gonna help that non-singing bird. Anyway, I skip that part. How much does Martell still earns without Fix the Flat being on the show? Martell's money does not depend on Fix the Flat involvement. He is a separate cast member with his own contract. Martell likely paid per episode from 15 to 20,000 per episode. Season totals to 250,000 to $400,000 per season. Martell still earns strong money because he has major storylines involvement. He brings conflict, which rises ratings. Oh, this raises ratings. Them R's getting tied up, y'all. Oh shoot. He is a central male figure. He has long-term cast status. Fix the Flat leaving does not affect his check. If anything, it gives him more storyline space, which can actually increase his episode count, increase his visibility, and increase his income. Let's move. Once Fix the Flat contract is over, she is free to join any network. I can tell you right there, that ain't gonna happen, baby. I already spoke to quite a few people. If she no longer under, if she is no longer under a contract, a cast contract, talent option, a non-compete clause, a network hold, then she is legally free to work. Now, I'm not gonna tell you what networks they sent me where she would have a good chance at going, because I'm like, baby, you got a manager, so hopefully Dawn is working her magic, but we ain't seen her around in a long time. Just saying. So I'm not gonna help the bird out with what networks would be good. Do it on your own. OWN cannot stop her once the contract is done. But there are important rules why she is still on Love and Marriage Huntsville. She could not film on any other reality shows. So we know that. After she exits, she must wait for her contract expiration window. That can be 30 to 180 days cooling off period, depending on her contract. Fixed Flat may need to wait 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, sometimes 6 months before signing with another reality show. This protects the network from her jumping immediately to a competitor. She can join another show sooner if OWN releases her early. Hold on, y'all. Who called? Okay. Now, OWN can release her from a non-compete clause, terminate the contract, choose not to renew her option if any of those happens. So, but she can do scripted TV anytime. Scripted acting, movies, sitcom, series is usually not restricted. She is free to do movies, acting, series, do voice work, appear in commercials, do music videos, and do talk shows. She can do YouTube, podcast, IG, TikTok with no limitations. And the last thing, which network would most likely hire Fix a Flat? And actually, gave me a lot of stuff, but I ain't even gonna talk about that, child. Mm-mm. What type of show? Mm-mm. Nope. That's it. So I'm gonna let y'all come up if y'all want to talk. But I think that was a good live, wasn't it? So now y'all can finally see Carlos King does not control that. It all belongs to ITV and OWN Network. But I love how Carlos has Carlos King and then it has Kingdom Reign. So you made it to where you get paid twice. I said, okay, Carlos King, you did that. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Oh, did I put it in? We had like 170 some people watching y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Dang, this live was 46 minutes. I didn't think it was gonna be that long. But anyway, y'all, I might go live tomorrow. I might not. But you all have a good day, and you all will see me very soon on a different platform. All right. Talk to y'all later. And thank you all for the cash apps. I appreciate that. Appreciate the love and support. And I am out.